Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. Andy's got the rundown, and she's not blowing smoke.
Sam, should medical marijuana be available to those who need it? We'll talk to someone who really opposes it about a Supreme Court decision last week. Washoe County District Attorney Dick Gammick joins us. And then we talk to Frank Mullen, investigative reporter for the Reno Gazette-Journal. Sam?
And coming up on the Pundit panel, things will heat up. We're going to talk immigration with Theresa, Navarro, Mary Lau, and Dick Gammick's going to stick around for that as well. It's all coming up next on the all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Charter Communication.
The Abowed family has an appetite for dialogue. Agree or disagree, have the conversation. All opinions are welcome. Since 1977, Adele's.
Catch a straight, dine at 8. Lucky you. Lucky you. Dance till 1. Have some fun. Lucky you. Lucky you. Taste the shrimp. Have a sip. Try the pool. Play it cool. At the Sienna Hotel Spa Casino. Lucky you. Yeah!
The biggest risk your company can take.
Well, Barbara, you did very well on your interview.
Hiring employees can help your business get to the next level.
And your resume looks outstanding.
And it can also expose you to corporate crimes and costly lawsuits that can bring your company to its knees.
So, we'd like to offer you a position.
Before you hire another employee, hire the professionals at Employer Links. Call today to get our free CD-ROM, The Top 8 Risk of Hiring Employees.
If you own a business and want to maximize your company's potential, join the Retail Association of Nevada. Our membership benefits include the Nevada Retail Network Self-Insured Group, providing workers' compensation coverage that can lower your rates. That savings can go directly to your bottom line. We are an effective pro-business organization that lobbies on behalf of our business members. The Retail Association of Nevada, protecting Nevada businesses for 35 years. Call 882-1700 to see what we can do for your organization.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad, political analyst Ande Engleman on No Holds Barred Political Forum. Now, from the News 4 Broadcast Center, here's Sam Shad.
We need an hour for today's show. We've only got a half an hour, so we're going to get it all in. Dick Gammick joins us. He's the Washoe County District Attorney, and Andy has some questions for him about a recent Supreme Court decision.
Yes, I have sympathy for people that need medical marijuana, both for pain and vision, etc. You're opposed to it, and we had a Supreme Court decision last week, and I'm just going to briefly summarize this. It said you couldn't prosecute doctors who prescribed the medical marijuana. Am I correct?
Be careful. No, that isn't what they said.
Okay,
I mean, to read the headline, Supreme Court clears way for medical pot. Supreme Court rejects Bush appeal over medical marijuana. I mean, you read these, yeah, that's the impression you get. But you have to go back. The Supreme Court would not hear the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals case, so that left the Ninth Circuit standing as the law. And let me just give a quick factual background. By the way, I'm not against medical marijuana. Medical marijuana makes me shiver because there is no such thing. Marijuana is marijuana is marijuana. The American Medical Association nor the Food and Drug Administration have recognized marijuana to have medical effect. Once they do, I agree with you. Once that is shown to be a helpful medication, I agree with you. People that have got bad diseases and stuff, fine, prescribe it for them.
Dick, are
that's
there
never been proven.
Studies with either of those two groups at this point?
No, I don't know. That I don't know, Sam. When we had all these debates a couple of years ago over it being on the ballot, I kept asking them, why haven't you gone to these folks to get the certifications? Are you afraid it won't happen? Is that why you won't go to them? You're afraid they're going to say?
Part of it that it's not legal for them to have it, to be able to do these tests?
That can be worked on. Right now, that's true. It's not legal for individuals to own it. For the Food and Drug Administration, the American Medical Association, I don't think it'd be a problem at all for them to have it to do that kind of testing, but they won't go there. Getting back to this thing, what happened here was the federal government took a position that if doctors discussed, you go see your doctor, and he starts talking to you about marijuana and the good and bad that he thinks it has and starts having a discussion with you, the feds were going after the doctor for talking about it.
Jeez.
Now, it doesn't take a genius to figure out, First Amendment rights. And that's exactly what the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals said. They said, you can't do that. They were going to go after their licenses. They were telling doctors, if you talk about marijuana, we're going to go after your licenses. Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals came out and said, not only is that First Amendment rights, but good grief, this is doctor-patient stuff. This is even heavier than that. They went on to say doctors can't prescribe it, they can't furnish it, because all those are against federal law. But they can sure talk to their clients about it. That's the case the Supreme Court said we're not going to hear.
Okay, in your office, what level of priority do you place on marijuana on its own? Not marijuana connected with something else, but just marijuana on its own.
What, possession of marijuana?
Yeah.
Not a lot, be honest about it, because we see a lot of it, and now the legislature has made possession of an ounce or less a misdemeanor. What we used to do, and the reason I tried to keep the legislature from doing that, is we would get people the first time out, give them a fine for a misdemeanor, possession of a drug for interstate commerce or possession of drug paraphernalia. Second time out, we may look at more of a fine and some jail time. Now we're starting to see a trend, so we would use that felony, possession of marijuana, as a hook. And you're talking strictly possession people, not violent people or anything else. We would tell them, you plead guilty to the felony, and you're going to drug court. And you're going to go to drug court for at least a year. And then they'd come out with a clean bill. Judge Breen would come back and say, they're good to go. We dismiss it and seal it. So that was our little carrot out there that started getting a lot of these people into treatment. We do that for possession of other drugs too, as long as it's minor amounts. We'll refer them over. We're after the users for drug court.
On your list of priorities, what's worse to you? Possession of marijuana or speeding through a school zone?
That's pretty tricky. No. Anytime you have people getting hurt, that's more of a priority to me than other types of crimes. And that is just, I set that when I came in the office. Any kind of violent thing, good grief, we are slaughtering people on our roads. I don't think that the people are catching on to this. We're killing people left and right, children especially. That's crazy. I don't like people speeding through school zones.
Do you have any evidence? Because I know in England, for example, certainly in London, they have these photo speed traps where cars going through an intersection after the red light, take a photograph, send them a fine. Is there any indication that has helped the situation there?
They've used it in some cities in the United States too, and I don't know if it really started helping because there's been such an outcry. People with maybe in the car with somebody they're not supposed to be in there with, or they're driving the car they're not supposed to be driving, or just other things were coming up, embarrassing situations. So there's been a pretty good outcry in this country about using it. So I don't think it's been used enough to show whether or not it really works. I think if people became aware of that, red lights is a big one. In fact, one of my little things now, I do a longer commute now coming to work, I start counting the people every day that blow red lights. And I've been up to 3.
Complained it was a violation of their right to privacy and that you were being convicted on the basis of this picture without due process and so forth. And so that's why it hasn't caught on here.
Quite frankly, at this point, we need to do something drastic because this situation is just out of control. And it's bad enough in Reno. It's even worse in places like Southern California.
I just checked here not too long ago because I started getting concerned as many people as we were killing on the road. And in a 6-month period that I asked them to check into, we had 32 deaths from traffic related. Either pedestrians being run over, people running off the road, people rolling their cars, kids getting run over. And that was before we had this last onslaught of the last couple of 3 weeks. We've had a lot of people killed here again.
I don't want to take anything away from what you just said, but how many people had died from marijuana in that same period of time? We'll be right back on Nevada Newsmakers after this time out.
Hi, I'm Dan.
And I'm Terry.
And this is Dan's Pizza and Parlor. Everything we make here is from scratch. Our fresh cut fries, homemade hamburgers made to order, fresh pizza dough made with 3 types of flour, and Terry's secret pizza sauce, and Dreyer's world-famous ice cream. And if you have a sports team, your kids can really have a great time here. Oh, Dan's Pizza and Parlor on Victorian Avenue, just down the street from Great Basin Brewery next to Pyramid Highway.
Would you like to savor a Trento pork chop? Or maybe pasta rags with grilled chicken? Hugo's Tuscan Grill at D'Andrea is a celebration of color, flavor, and freshness. Each dish is created from natural, wholesome foods that is delicious and nutritious. Hugo's is a comfortable restaurant with breathtaking city views. If you enjoy great food and good company, visit us here at Hugo's. It's the best that dining can be. 2900 South D'Andrea Parkway in Sparks.
Welcome to Sushi Club, best sushi in town. The Sushi Club in Independence Square uses the best quality products. The sushi is dynamite, and the service is just wonderful.
The Sushi Club is bigger and better. We have 11 sushi chefs on staff, and the service is great.
All your friends will tell you that Sushi Club is the best place for the best sushi.
Come join us for lunch or dinner.
The Sushi Club, 294 East Moana Lane in the Independence Square.
Now that's great sushi.
To experience the royal cuisine of India, you need some serious magic or simply transport yourself to India Garden, right here in Reno, where you'll discover Indian specialties refined over centuries. Sikh kebab, tandoori dishes cooked in our own tandoor oven, biryani specialties, curries, fresh-baked Indian bread, over a dozen vegetarian dishes, even dishes rare to India like dosa, South Indian-style crepes. India Garden off South Virginia near Sports West. We are India.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad and Ande Engleman.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, sorry, the conversation continues even when you're out there getting a sandwich. We're still carrying on talking here. And we're joined by Frank X. Mullen, who is the chief investigative reporter, correct, for the Reno Gazette-Journal?
Senior reporter, yeah.
Senior reporter for the Reno Gazette-Journal. And Frank, the reason we invited you on here today was, in particular, was to get an update on what's happening in Fallon.
Okay. The cancer cluster in Fallon, which now numbers 16 children, 3 of whom have died, with not all of them live in Fallon or were diagnosed in Fallon, but they all had some connection to Fallon. It started in the year 2000. In July was when it was first noticed, and it continues today, but there has not been a diagnosis in more than a year. So maybe that's an indication that it's over, that this particular epidemic is at its end. The CDC and other government agencies have weighed in on it and said it's inconclusive. They don't know if there's an environmental cause or not. They've been unable to identify any. They found some weird stuff. They found lots of tungsten, for example, which was previously considered to be an inert mineral, but found out that people in Fallon had a lot of that in their bodies and in their water. But right now it's moved into the legal stage. There are 2 lawsuits been filed by the parents of children who died, and I don't know if there will be more, but the statute of limitations clock is ticking. I think you have 2 years after the death to file a wrongful death suit, and so there's one other child who died, and certainly 13 others who are sick, so there may be some other legal actions, but the government's pretty much given up on it. But the independent investigators like Mark Whitten in Arizona have not, and he continues to get grants and to do his own investigating. And if there's any hope, I think, of finding if there is a environmental cause, if it's going to be found, it's going to be found by people like Mark Whitten and people like FIST, which is the group of parents out there who are dedicated to continue to dig into what may have caused the outbreak.
I want to compliment Frank on something. My family came out during the gold rush, came across the country, and your Donner Story series I've just been totally fascinated with. I grew up as a little girl hearing stories about it, and I'm following everything that you write. I find it absolutely fascinating.
Oh, thanks.
And we all do. No doubt about that. And the book is available at
Barnes & Noble, Sundance, all over the place. It's called Donner Party Chronicles.
And in 4th printing now?
Yeah, 3rd printing paperback now.
Okay, that's awesome. Okay, let's change. When we spoke on the version of this program that aired, as they say, on another network, we talked about, I guess, about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, about the relics of St. Therese that came through town. Mm-hmm. And you explained at the time that you were had strong emotional feelings, even though you're not a practicing Catholic, you are a Catholic, and we talked in depth about that situation. I just wanted to get your take on what's been happening with the Catholic Church and how that's affecting people in the Reno area, because the scandals have just been so immense. They have been minor by comparison. Still, there have been repercussions here in Reno, but minor by comparison with, say, Boston. But what's your thought? How tough is it to be a Catholic in Reno these days?
I think locally people thought they were sort of immune from what was happening around the country with all the scandals and so forth and charges of sexual misconduct. And then we had our own case here involving Monsignor Bowling over at Little Flower, who's was a friend of mine. He's passed on now, but a terrific guy. Was loved in the community. They named a street after him over there. He did a great deal of things for this community. And so that really brought it home, I think. And those allegations, by the way, were 40 years old against him. They dated back to where was it, Tennessee or Kentucky?
Yeah, I think Kentucky.
Kentucky, yeah. And it was devastating for him and devastating for the parish. And if true, those are certainly devastating for the victims in the case. But I think that showed us that we weren't immune here to this kind of thing, and it I think really brought out that the church hasn't done its job over the years. It has not paid attention to this. It's swept these kinds of things under the rug, and I'm not saying if Monsignor Bowling was innocent or guilty, that in 40 years there's no way to defend yourself against allegations like that. But nationwide, I think the church fell down on the job. It tried to cover all this kinds of things up. It transferred priests who got in trouble. It ignored the victims, and I think we're paying the price. And it's, I think, got a lot of Catholics thinking about or rethinking their attitudes about the church in terms of the wisdom of keeping these things under wraps. But I think that's separate from the issue of faith. The Catholics I know don't let that get involved with the main issues of faith and belief in the church, and especially the very devout Catholics that I talk to over at Little Flower, for example. Keep that in a separate compartment. That criticism from a separate compartment from their faith in the church.
You've got a big story coming out very soon. When you break the story, we want to have you on the show.
Terrific.
Talk about it.
We'd be glad to do it.
Try to do it that day if we can. All right?
Yeah, I'll let you know.
All right, Frank Mullen, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.
Wild Pundit panel coming up in just a couple of minutes. Stay tuned.
Before you head to Carson, take care of yourself with a visit to Tamarack Junction. Catch a hot cup of coffee and the morning news on one of our 32 TVs and enjoy the best food in South Reno. Tamarack Junction, your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amati Ranch Parkway.
The Abowd family has an appetite for dialogue. Agree or disagree, have the conversation. All opinions are welcome. Since 1977, Adele's.
Today's lesson, another reason to take the Gold Rush Club Card Challenge. With the Gold Rush card, you really have 3 cards in one. Use your cash back. You still keep your comps and drawing tickets. Use your comps. You still keep your cash and drawing tickets. And with your drawing tickets, you could win thousands in cold hard cash every week. And still keep your cash back and comps. Does your club add up? Graduate to the Gold Rush Players Club. It's the smart thing to do. The Gold Dust West, south on Keystone, east on 4th.
When you sign up for Wells Fargo free checking, you get more than free checking. You get the freedom to bank when and where you want. Wells Fargo, the next stage.
Make your daily commute easy with breakfast or lunch at the Tamarack Junction. Enjoy daily specials, super fast service, and South Reno's freshest morning meals. Tamarack Junction, your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amati Ranch Parkway.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad and Ande Engleman.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers. Fasten your seatbelts on this one. Let's introduce our pundit panel here. It's going to be a powerful. Look at this lineup we've got. We'll start out with Mary Lau. She's the executive director of the Nevada Retail Association. Dick Gammick rejoins us here, our district attorney, and Theresa Navarro, first time on the show. Welcome. Thank you. And she's the vice chairman of the Washoe County Democratic Party. I want to start with you, Theresa. I understand that you are in favor of the driving licenses in California for illegal aliens.
Yes, I am.
And you want to state why?
Well, why? Because...
and by the way, before you even start, I agree with you. Just to get the pot going here.
Well, if you look at it, okay, you have immigrants and you have non-documented immigrants in this country that have been here for many years. And you want to look at, they talk about how they want to send us back and they want to send them back and they want to do all these things. But at the same time, they're here in this country, they're here now, they want to abide, they want to be abiding citizens, they have their children in school. So why not give them a license so that they can have insurances? Because a lot of people, they don't have insurance, they don't have a license, they can't have insurance. So when there are accidents or anything like that, you yourself or myself, there wouldn't be any insurance to help cover. That would be one reason. The other reason is because they work here. They have the 3, 4, 5 jobs in this country that are, with Latinos being the rising minority group in this country, we have all those jobs. We have the jobs that the people are working at the ground level, and they work here and they work hard.
Mary?
I don't know. I spent a lot of time thinking about it. I don't know that I actually agree that the driver's license should come first. And one of the questions that was put forward was the amnesty programs and stuff like that, which I don't have a problem with. If we then straighten out how we handle it from here on in, you just can't go every few years on amnesty. And I agree that there has to be a way to get documentation, there has to be a way to come forward, but there is a law now that says how you do it. And so, coming into this country requires that you enter it properly and requires that you register and everything else. When I travel in foreign countries, I travel according to the law. So it's a very difficult thing. I think the consular ID is very helpful. And something like that to start the process. Maybe going back into sponsorship programs and stuff like that.
Before you
I'm just waiting.
No, go for it.
No, I don't agree. You have to have laws. You have to have order. You have to have a society. You can't just do it pell-mell. If we're going to kick down all of the entry ports and everything we have into this country and let everybody come and go as they want to. The folks that are here illegally should be deported. They should go back to their countries. If they want to come to the United States, then make your application, go through the process, come into this country legally, come in with the green card as we call it. Then you can get your driver's license. You can become a U.S. citizen if you choose to do that. If you don't want to do it, you don't have to. You can work, you can do everything. You get all the rights and benefits and privileges of being a citizen because you're here legally. And it just really frosts me to even go further into driver's licenses on all the different benefits and things that illegal aliens get now. And I don't care where they're from. I don't care if they're from Mexico, from Europe, from Canada, from anywhere else. We're getting a lot of people come in now from over in the Southeast Asia and Asian countries.
Okay, but isn't there reality?
And the benefits and
come, Andy, isn't there a reality, folks,
what's a reality?
That if we were to stop all illegal immigration right now and send every illegal alien back to their country, our economy would go right in the tank because we would not have people to do the zillions of jobs.
Everyone else doesn't want to do.
I disagree.
Okay, if you did that at this moment, if we went into the casinos, which is what Nevada runs on, if we went into the casinos right now and we were to take all those people that you want to send back and walk them out, there would be no casinos.
Oh, that's against the law to employ illegal aliens. So they're not doing that. Don't start saying casinos are doing that.
That's the dual standard we have in this country, which is when it's convenient, we employ people, and whether they're legal or not.
And I agree, it should be illegal.
It's a violation now. It's an I-9 violation, $10,000 fine.
Right, but how often does that get done?
Well, that's part of the problem. It's
resources. That's the problem, is resources. Is they do not give Immigration and Naturalization Services the resources to do what they need to do. And if the federal government would do that, let's get this thing back on a keel. If we need to change the law, let's do it through process. Let's go to Congress, change the laws, and then do what we need to do from there. But just giving it a nod and a wink and not giving them the resources to do what they need to do is crazy. I agree. It
The
doesn't
$20
work.
billion we gave to Iraq should have gone to the natural search.
But we have these amnesty programs every, 10, 15 years?
Well, that's because we don't follow it up by applying the law.
Right. But the bottom line is, though, is that we keep doing these studies that say that we need to legalize the people who are here, who have been here, not 5 minutes, but in some cases 20, 30, 40 years.
Yes.
We're not enforcing and doing the laws, and maybe like Dick said, then you change it. Maybe there's a different way to come into this country. But like I said, when I travel in other countries, I go into it legally. Most people do. We had within the Asian communities, we had sponsorship programs, and when you came here, you had a sponsor, you had a job, you had the ability to have
a health check,
and you were and health checks, everything else, and you were here, and then you yourself were able to sponsor more of your family once you proved that you were participating in society and stuff like that. So, and I don't know, I'm not familiar enough with the law, and Mexico's our very close neighbors, but there's got to be a way to enforce the law, and if it isn't working,
but this is almost, this almost strikes me like politics. You have the campaign, and then you have actually governing. And here we have immigration law and the reality of immigrants being here. Will you come back on the show again? Love to have you back here. It's a pleasure having you. We'll be right back on Nevada Newsmakers after this timeout. Very emotional issue.
Big Apple Pizza, best pizza in Nevada. Take what?
Today we're here, we're making homemade meatballs for a meatball parm. You like cheesesteak? I think you like it South Philly right now. It's the best cheese ever made. Now that's how a Philly cheesesteak's supposed to look.
And here's little Cole.
This is authentic. We'll throw some pepperoni in here. Not gonna be shy about it. I bet you guys didn't know I could do that. Don't skimp on the toppings. Authentic as it gets. Big Apple Pizza and Subs on the corner of Bering and McCarran. A New Jersey guy who knows how to make an East Coast pizza.
Would you like to savor a Trento pork chop? Or maybe pasta rags with grilled chicken? Hugo's Tuscan Grill at D'Andrea is a celebration of color, flavor, and freshness. Each dish is created from natural, wholesome foods that is delicious and nutritious. Hugo's is a comfortable restaurant with breathtaking city views. If you enjoy great food and good company, visit us here at Hugo's. It's the best that dining can be. 2900 South D'Andrea Parkway in Sparks.
Hi, I'm Dan.
And I'm Terry.
And this is Dan's Pizza and Parlor. Everything we make here is from scratch. Our fresh cut fries, homemade hamburgers made to order, fresh pizza dough made with 3 types of flour, and Terry's secret pizza sauce, and Dreyer's world famous ice cream. And if you have a sports team, your kids can really have a great time here. Oh! Dan's Pizza and Parlor on Victorian Avenue, just down the street from Great Basin Brewery next to Pyramid Highway.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Charter Communication.
We're still going at it here on the Pundit panel. It's coming up tomorrow.
We got Tim Hay, the consumer advocate, and Sam McMullen, who beat Gammick.
We'll be back tomorrow.